Warning. The following content is intended for immature audiences only. The opinions of these two fine gentlemen should not be taken seriously at all.
The JTS 51 Podcast. Introducing your hosts, JT and Sai.
Hello, and welcome to the JTS 51 podcast, a podcast hosted by myself, JT, and my colleague, Sai. Sai, how you doing, mate? Excited to be here?
Yeah, definitely something.
That's it, mate. That's it. No, you know what? In a world where there's millions and millions of podcasts, why did we want to jump on the bandwagon and actually do one ourselves? I think me and Simon are colleagues. We worked together. Every time we spoke, we just found that we had the most entertaining, hilarious chats, and we decided to bring that to you, the lucky listeners of this world. So, yeah, here we go, the JTS 51 podcast. Hopefully, entertaining to your ears.
Do you want me to chuck something on that?
Yeah, go for it.
I've sat in so many conversations down the pub with you, wherever, and just thought, do you know what? We should have recorded that. I just thought I would listen to it back.
Oh, do you know what? That's one of my life's regrets as well. I've had so many fun talks with people, and the fact that we get to do this and we can actually listen to ourselves back and bring our perspective of the world to people, make them laugh and educate. I think we might be able to educate a few people on few things as well, which would be good. But that's what our podcast is going to be about. You're going to have two normal guys chatting absolute shit about everything and anything. So yeah,
we'll leave normality to the people listening. I don't know how normal we are, but
no, exactly that. Well, okay, brilliant. So here we go. All right, let's go. So, Side, who is the weirdest person you ever worked with?
Weirdest. Okay, I wouldn't say all right. Weirdest.
It could be unusual as well. Like whatever floats your boat. Just a person that really just, you know, is stuck in your memory of being kind of weird or unusual.
Okay, so this isn't. I wouldn't say this is a weird person, because actually in real life he was a genuinely nice bloke, and he's one of the people that when I left my last work, he was one of the guys that kind of hung in there and sort of messaged me, said hello and stuff like that. But he had the thing that he had was an obsession with poetry, right?
Oh, okay.
Right, yeah, but like it would be weird stuff. So we worked in a factory, yeah. Machine broke, you'd write a poem about it, right? If you were just nice to the guy, you'd write a poem about it, right?
Oh, wow.
So the kind of running joke is that, yeah, everyone thought he was a bit odd, which is not an unusual thing given those circumstances. But it's still, like, with the people that I see now, it's still a running joke because of, like, my last day there, wrote me a poem.
You know what? It's kind of sweet. It's like artistic and a bit sweet, but yeah,
well, this is fine. But you got a grown man writing another grown man a poem about their last day, and it's it was.
When you say it out loud, it does sound a little bit weird, to be honest.
I like the way that you thought it was normal. Yeah, mate. Right.
I thought it was sweet. But yeah, no, when you say it out loud,
this is what everybody does. When I left all my last places, they wrote me poetry. You know,
yeah. What is
Barry
that
from downstairs? He was like knocking them out of the park. I tell you.
I know. Wendy from finance. She wrote me the sweetest limerick when I left. It was just so good. Yeah. Oh man. So basically, would he do it during work time, or would he do it would he go home and really think about it and then just pour his heart out on a paper?
The thing is, I think he was just genuinely a creative guy. Now, there was a little bit of embellishment there, obviously, about some of the stuff, but yeah, genuinely wrote poems about a lot of different things, and it was a strange. It was a strange feeling, because on the one hand, you're leaving your place and people, you come up, so like a card, some chocolates, bugger off, we don't want to see you again, that kind of stuff. And I wrote you a poem.
Oh man! Yeah,
all right. You're doing the thing like, so I'll what I'll do, I'll read it later. Oh no, I can read it to you now. I've got a meeting. I need to be here. No, it's all right. I don't mind, honestly. No, but
that's
all right.
That's so weird.
Right.
But bless him though, because I think like you said, he is quite a creative person, and obviously his creative output was probably through poetry. Was it was it rhyming poetry? Was it like abstract poetry when they
No,
just
abstract.
like speak?
There wasn't a rhyme in
just
there. Yeah. So
beautiful words.
yeah. So I wish I
Oh,
never said this now
fantastic.
because I'm getting as much stick from you as I do from the people that
No,
still
no, no,
see.
no, no, no. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, this is what this is for, honestly, to recall like our experiences. Oh, that's really good, man. That's a good one. Um,
Right, you
I've
got to top that now.
oh man, so I had so this is my first office job, I think it was. Yeah, I walked into the place, and you got your usual introductions, right? So I've spoken to my immediate team, my manager, my supervisor, and then said, okay, let's give you a tour of the office. Said, okay, no problem. So I'm walking around. You know, you got your finance team, you've got your sales team, customer service team. We're all quite in a close. We're all close by. The departments are close by each other, but they're just separated by massive glass panes, really. So we walk into the IT room. So the IT room was right next door to our room, and we walk in there. We say hello, and I see this chap in there, and I think the IT manager said, "Oh, let me just introduce you to my team." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, thank you." So we're walking around, and I've met one or two guys, not a problem. Third guy sitting by the window by himself, and he introduces himself. I'm not going to name him, but yeah, he introduces himself. I go to immediately shake his hand, and he looks at my hand in pure disgust. And I thought, oh God, have I done something to offend this person or something? And then after the 3 awkward seconds of me looking at my own hand and he's looking at my hand, I decided to put my hand away and I looked towards the manager, and the manager just literally shrugged it off. And he wasn't unpleasant. He literally did say hello, introduce his name, and I was like, "Oh, hello, nice to meet you." And I put my hand out, right? So it wasn't like he was nasty, but then it looked like my hand was just infested with, I don't know, Ebola or something. He didn't want to touch it. So basically, yeah, after that awkward bit, I went back to my desk and I spoke to my mate and I said, isn't that guy in IT? What's wrong with him? And he goes, "Oh, you're talking about Beardy the weirdo." And I was like, "Excuse me, what?" He goes, "Yeah, Beardy the weirdo. Basically, he's a massive germaphobe, like massive germaphobe, and he doesn't like touching door handles. He doesn't like touching people's equipment." I said, "Well, he shouldn't really be in IT support then, should he? Really? Because that's literally you're working with other people's equipment all the time." And he goes, "Yeah, he carries around, and this is before COVID, by the way. So he's carrying around his own." Industrial-sized antibacterial spray, and him going to the bathroom, you can tell he's gone to the toilet because what he used to do was he used to kick the door, not open it with his elbow or his hand. He used to kick the door handle, and then he'd walk in the toilet, and then he'd just grab all the tissues, and those tissues will be used on the sink hand, the tap in the sink, the flush in the toilet. And then he would also then use it to open the door handle of the toilet. But then with that tissue, he would just drop it on the floor. So, yeah, he was called Beardy the Weirdo, and I could see why. And the thing is, about a year later, I don't know if he left or if he got sacked, but someone then decided to imitate him, which was the funniest thing because we all knew Beardy the Weirdo used to drop the tissues at the door handle of the men's toilets. But after he left, someone decided to, I don't know, play a prank for 3 months and basically keep leaving tissues near the near the men's toilet. And we had an admin guy who was basically like, he's like the granddad of the whole place, so he'd be doing all the little fixes, talking to everyone, and he'd work in the warehouse. And then he sent out email saying, "Listen, Beardy the weirdo has left." This is an internal email to everyone, right? He said, "Beardy the weirdo has left. Can whoever's dropping the tissues outside the men's room still just stop it, okay? I'm not gonna tolerate it anymore." So the tissues thing carried on. So what he did was he grabbed a bin and he put it right next to the door of the men's. And someone then decided to take the piss and still drop the tissues outside of the bin. Oh, it was fantastic. But yeah, I would say he's just asking the question, like, who's the weirdest person? I think he'd probably be right up there. There's probably a few more I could think of, but yeah, no, he would be up there.
It was funny when you were describing him, like, as you're like, yeah, he sounds like some poorly written 80s comedy action hero. He's like, he goes to the toilet, kicks the door down, smashes like all through the tissues and stuff, and then just like drop the mic moment, but drop the tissue moment before. He walks up, and then off he goes. He sounds like a nightmare.
Oh, what would be his name? And here comes Antibacterial Man. Worst name ever.
Thing is, though, in
Oh.
some ways, you have to almost like, same as the guy with the poetry. You almost have to take it back and go. Obviously, this is how they kind of get through life and things like that. But put yourself in that situation now. Obviously, germaphobe or whatever they're called. Imagine having that as a thing. Just
Yeah, and it's
everything.
yeah. I'm not taking the piss out of it.
Like, well,
it is. I lied, but it is a genuine thing. So people do actually have a massive germ problem.
Yeah, but I just in real life, it must be an absolute nightmare to do it. Like literally, like you think of all those times when you've gone to you go to a concert, you go out for a meal, or just anything, and all you're just anxious about, germs and germs everywhere. You and I, like on the night out, you're smashing through the beers, goodness knows when you get towards the end of the night, half the glasses, we were drinking quite a few years ago, but half the glasses probably weren't even put through the dishwasher properly. The amount of times you get glasses with like lipstick and stuff, and don't worry, the alcohol will kill the germs. I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm still here, so I'm going with it.
No, we're gonna accept that, absolutely. I don't want to think otherwise, to be honest, because thinking about how many pints you must have had in your life in a pub, and then thinking about how many lips have touched that and they're not been through a proper dishwasher. Oh well, then. That's how you build up tolerance to germs.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. I'm the caveman now to put up with it. So the least we could do is have a few germy glasses.
That's exactly that. Yeah, no, he was. I'm just trying to imagine his life in general. Like, how would he go on a date? Like, he probably doesn't even want to hug anyone. How does he get close to anyone?
Yeah.
Tough. My word. Public transport. Could you imagine on public transport? He'd probably be in one of those, those human bubbles where you walk in and that's it. You're just rolling like a little hamster everywhere you go. That would probably be his most perfect way of transport. But yeah, I just found it ironic. He was in IT support, and he's in a position where he's got to grab people's laptops, their mouse, their mice, their keyboards, and bloody hell, like
in a not creepy way, crawl around under desks.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, get to dirty places. Oh, what a guy! What a guy! I just remember like no one like. It's weird because when I first met him, I didn't anticipate that at all. Like everyone I spoke to in that office, I shook their hand, and when I saw him look at my hand, like it's like I really offended him I thought I must have said something like, but I didn't. All I said, "Hi mate, how you doing?"
Well, it's an unusual reaction, but the weird thing is, right? It's strange that he didn't say, "Oh, I'm just not a handshake kind of guy." That would have been enough, right? But
yeah, just gave me the stare down to my hand.
I got caught out like that with one of my old. It really threw me. So like one of my old chaps that I knew, when I went to the interview, he like damaged his right arm, so generally handshake from the right hand. So he would always handshake left-handed, right? But obviously, when you go to leave an interview or something like that, when they offer the hand and stuff, it's an awkward enough situation anyway. But you kind of like, this is fine. When someone hands you the left hand, you're like, yeah, I think I've got this. It's just
what
so
do you
unnatural.
Do, right? So you pull out your right hand. Okay, so you're already past the point of no return. So you've got your right hand out because most people will shake their hands with the right hand. And then what do you do? Do you get your hand and you rotate it like 90 degrees and then try and grab it from top to bottom? Or what do you do? I mean, it's too late to bring out your left hand because I think you've already committed. You're with the right hand 100% now. I think the only thing worse than that is a very limp hand. You've probably shaken the hand of someone who just puts their hand out just like that.
The thing with that is, and this is not to stereotype, but this is the thing that catches me out, right? So if you have a very slight person, and they give you that sort of weak handshake, you expect it. It's no problem. Yeah. But I've definitely met a few people 6 foot plus, big guys, and they give you the weakish. You're just like, hang on a minute, I was expecting you to crush my hand. What's going on? Yeah.
That's what kind of throws you off completely when the handshake doesn't match the physique of the person.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Some 6 foot dude, and you can knock them over with like a little like gust of wind or something. You're like, I don't understand that.
Exactly. You're trying to shake their hand, but they're giving you their hand like you're about to propose to them. You know what I mean? Just stick your hand out. Oh no! Oh, brilliant.
In some ways, there are some minor little wins that have come out the whole sort of COVID situation, and I think that's one people are, they're all like shoulder bumps, elbow bumps, and knuckle bumps these days. You can't go wrong with that. Yeah, that's solid. Yeah, you got no problem with that.
And I think COVID really highlighted people's hygiene. I think people weren't really bothered about it before, but then once these commercials come out and all these paid kind of messages come out from the NHS, just showing how easy it is to spread germs, I think people have really taken a note of it, which is great because even today, right? I was in the bathroom and I came out, started washing my hands. There was a guy that went in just after me, done his business, number one, and then I looked at him and I don't know him. I didn't know who he was, but I knew he worked in that building, so I just gave him the nod, and he gave me the nod back, and he just walked out, and I was like, oh
wrong.
God.
Absolutely wrong.
I was like, oh my gosh. And then I'm paranoid. So I'm there doing my duty, clean my hands with soap, right? I wipe my hands off. And then I was like, now I get it. Beardy weirdo. I get it now. Why you did your thing.
Ahead of the curve, right?
Ahead of the curve. I completely understood. So what I did was, luckily, in our bathroom, we've got the little door stopper where you can actually open the door with your foot. So I did that. Or I do something a little bit weird. I don't know if you do this, mate, but I'll grab my finger and I'll literally put it in the one place where people are not expected to touch the handle. It's normally the bit that's connected to the door. So I'll go like that, really push hard and put it across. It sounds really weird, but to me, it's just like it makes sense. Oh no,
it's funny you say that, but I use my little finger and do that, or you take a bit of tissue. Here's the secret: you take a little bit of tissue with it, and you just kind of do that, and then you just drop the tissue outside. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the women get up to, but there are a percentage of blokes out there that are wrong.
No, honestly, and I see it all the time, which is a shame. Like, what it is, I remember I went to a football match recently, and I think it was near the half time. So me and my cousin, we went to the game. I said we had like one beer before the game. We had one beer at half time. So I thought, we've got a long journey back from Birmingham. Let me just go for it. Let me just go to the toilet. So I went to the bathroom. As you can imagine, queue of men, like 20, 30 men, and they're going in there, doing the number one. And then some of them will just walk out straight away. And I was like, oh my God, you guys have got little kids with you. And the sinks are right there. It takes like 10 seconds. Get your hands wet, rub your hands with soap, dry them off with a paper towel, and you're good. But just an effort to save like 30 seconds, people will just walk out. And I find that disgusting. And then they'll go shaking their hands with their mates. We'll be like, all right, Paul, see you next week, son. Good, nice to see you, mate.
Great. Cheers for that. It's
I know. These chips taste a bit salty today. I don't know what's going on. Oh no. Brilliant. Okay, cool. I think let's move on to the next one, which will be interesting. All right. Who's the worst boss you ever had? And don't have to name names, just describe them as a person.
Oh no, the problem that I've got is that if anyone that I know is listening to this, they'll know exactly who it is. And because it was just okay, we've all had bad bosses, yeah, and they can range from just incompetency to just, I don't know, too bossy, not listening, all those things that generate a bad boss. But the just thinking about this guy, he was absolutely insane, right? Okay, so one place I worked. See, normally when you go into a business, as you know, you try and have that professionalism about you, yeah. And yes, you can have disagreements with people, and sometimes you might have a little bit of a backwards and forwards, but it's all done in a way that's to some degree a little bit respectful, yeah. And after it, you might, even if it was a little bit of a heavy meeting, you might carry the burden of it for like a little bit, and then you can kind of brush it off and like you move on and stuff. But this guy, he was a new level. He was a different level.
Do you know what it is? Being a boss must be so hard because I think you've got it's not. You've seen The Office, have you? The US version, right?
I was leading to this. I tell you what. Don't worry about The Office, right? You need to. After this, I'll give you the place of where it was, right? You forget about this, right? I swear, I can tell you stories. I was actually going to prepare some bits today, but I didn't realize we were going to go down this route. But you could write an office about this place I worked, right? So
really?
So all right, we'll come back to the boss thing in a minute, but I'll give you some comedy, some light stuff to start with.
Let's do it.
So this is the beginnings of it, right? so when I sort of started, they had the normal manual gates for letting the trucks in and out for offloading, unloading, that kind of thing, right? Okay, someone had the bright idea of let's automate that. So the guys can rock up, someone presses the button, the trucks come in, gates close behind them, offload, goods are secured, into the warehousing, off it goes, whatever, right? Trouble is, day one, the button worked to open the gate, it closed behind them, but didn't work to let them out again. Right?
Oh, no.
So trucks pulling into the back of this factory, loading stuff up, can't get out again. Sat there for most of the day. And all you've got is just, and then about halfway through the day, they figured out how to half get them up, but it only half opened, right? So if you imagine the scene, what it was is these gates would sort of open halfway and then shut back immediately. So they were just sort of half opening and half closing for most of the day.
You've got no chance. So if someone's walking out, they can actually get out, but a vehicle would be able to get through. Right?
Absolutely. Right. So that's now. I appreciate that probably wasn't the best story to kick off with, but we've got to ease your way into this stuff, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you got to tease them inside.
Ease your way into this stuff.
The listener can't have the best stories straight away. They've got to listen to us for a little while before they get the best stories.
So now we dive into the deep end. Okay. One weekend that it was like I think it was one of the first weekends when this place had allowed staff to work over an evening, right? Over the weekend, sorry, my mistake.
Oh, okay.
And everybody starts at 9, everyone walks in the building, and there was just a scream in the other room, right? Okay, from like one of the cleaners. Somebody rushed in there thinking something bad had happened, right?
Sure.
Right, so this is a secondhand story I'm being told now, so I wasn't privileged to it, but in any case, right, apparently she just pointed at the bin. So the manager kind of went over, and there was a shit in the bin.
Oh my word! Someone's taking a dump in an office bin.
Yes, right. Right now, this leads into like all the bad stuff that happened in this place, and just like people pushing back against this thing. But you imagine that poor cleaner comes in there, she's she's sweeping stuff. Someone's taking a shit in the bin.
Oh, that's
right. So it's not great, but you have to remember the aftermath of that, right? So next up, you have to have meetings about guys, don't shit in the bins, right? Right.
Rule number one. Imagine you start work in a place and one of their rules is please don't shit in the office bins.
Right.
The toilets are provided. Oh, that's fantastic.
You then have to, well, you don't have to, but you then an email to say that everybody's understood the rules goes round, right, guys? This meeting's been held. Everybody's aware we now don't shit in the bins.
You might have to sign a consent form. To name here, understand that I am not to shit in the office bins.
But with all of this, right, you have to imagine that the board of directors and whoever it was had to go into a meeting with HR and go, right, who was ever in that meeting? We've got a situation today. Okay, what is it a work resource thing? Is it like complaints? No, we've got a new one.
Yeah. Brace yourself.
Cleaner coming this morning, right, and found, this in the bin, right? And to be a fly on the wall in that meeting, can you just imagine it? Can you just imagine being like
that
some
could be
HR professional or something, and of all the things that you've seen, maybe people coming in a little bit stoned, a little bit drunk, a little bit whatever. This week we've got shit in the bin to deal with. Oh,
that's fantastic. That could be an episode of The Office itself. Who shat the bin? Oh my god, it could be a whodunit type. Brilliant.
But you would think that it would be an isolated, right? This conversation's taken a turn for the worse, but let's get it out of the way while we're here.
Listen, poo jokes are funny. It is what it is. I was going to say, so can you just imagine the circumstances of this individual taking a dump in the toilet? So not even the toilet, in the bin. Yes.
The preparation is
and the execution,
right?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. You can prepare all you want, but to perform on the spot and get it in the bin, that's talent. That is talent.
But again, the decision making behind it, right? So let's just say you're a disgruntled employee, right?
That's right.
There's a lot of things you could do: sabotage, theft, breakage, whatever it happens to be, right?
Yeah.
You've got perfectly good facilities that you could use. But you're like, no, I'm not going to do one of the above things that I just meant. No, I'm going to take a shit in the bin because.
I was just going to say, if you wrote a list like oh, you know what? I'm going to write a harsh email to HR to complain about this person. I'm going to speak to this person outside of work, just me and him, or me and her, or I'm gonna complain to their manager. No, I'm gonna take a dump in their bin. That will show them. And for me, it doesn't make any sense because obviously that person would have done it when the room was empty, and the only person that was gonna find that shit would be the cleaner. So this was a targeted attack against the cleaner. Oh my word! That's why I think we've cracked it. So someone hated the cleaner.
See, now there was me thinking you wanted to do some sort of highbrow
Detective work.
But...
Oh, that's fantastic. That's a great story, though. Oh my word. Oh my god. I think.
So I think people are going to be relying on you to keep this conversation on the straight and narrow, and
No,
I'm going to be doing
no.
my best to pull it down. Is that all right? Yeah.
No, listen. We're gonna get as bad as each other. This is not for the fate. This podcast is not for the light-hearted. This is going to be some hard and heavy shit, just like in that bin. So basically, what I'm saying is I remember this is going to sound really bad. I don't know if I want to tell this story actually because
I'm prepared for this segue.
Okay, let's do it. You know what? So we had one of my previous workplaces, right? We had a very close team. So we were the operations department and we had the warehouse guys downstairs. Warehouse guys were, involved in creating, let's say, the product. They had to put the product together. In my position, I would order the parts in. They get delivered. The warehouse team creates the parts. And there's one guy, he just joined and larger than life character. I'm talking, must be, I don't know, 40, mid 40s, very big guy, very proud Englishman. And very larger than life. He'd like to take the piss out of people, even though he just started. Like, some people ease their way in, kind of find their kind of like groove and find like people to talk to. Now, the first day he was trying to banter everyone. If someone's too short, he'd say it. Someone was too tall, he'd say it. Someone's wearing glasses, he'd say it. He would just rile people up, and it wasn't in a malicious way. I think it was his way to kind of try and get in the group and become one of the lads, kind of thing. So eventually people had enough of him after like 2 weeks and he let it slip. Now I don't know, this story is a bit. So he let it slip to someone that he's having a bit of problem with his bottom. Right. So, so he said, he said he must have let it slip to someone, right? There's only one person. There was two people. Sorry, he told that he's having a bit of a problem with his bottom. I don't know if it was blood, which is quite serious, or if it's leaky bump. I don't know which one it was. And what happened was, a few days later, someone had actually opened up his locker and actually put. I don't know if it was a tampon or if it was a nappy, a whole pack of Pampers in his locker. And when he saw that, when he opened his locker that morning, he was enraged. Like, he went on a warpath. He complained to his manager, came storming upstairs where we were, says, "I want to see HR." And then, so the HR lady's a little bit shocked because he's a big guy and he looks really angry, right? So she's like, no, come in, what's wrong? He came sit down. So everyone's now quiet now because they've just seen this happen. Now, normally it's a loud office because we're all talking, laughing, whatever. It was one of those quiet offices. But as soon as he walked up and he started shouting, we're all like, whoa, what's happening here? So he walks into the HR's office. Lady says, sit down. He goes, I don't want to sit down. I can't sit down at the moment. And we were just like, what? Is he that angry? Only now that I realised he had a problem with his bottom, that's the reason why he couldn't sit down. So we had to connect the dots there. We only connected it afterwards. So then she goes, what's wrong? He goes, well, I opened my locker this morning and I found a tampon in there. Obviously, this is a targeted attack. And she's like, why would someone leave a tampon in your locker? And he goes, I can't say really. And it was just like, she was like, yeah, but there must be a reason. Maybe someone's misplaced it. We've got female workers in the warehouse. Maybe someone's put it in there by mistake. He goes, no, this is a targeted attack. And she's like, but how did you know that? And I swear to God, after about 2 minutes of back and forth, he finally shouted it out. And I think he said, oh, it's because I'm bleeding from my bottom. And because the thing was, everyone was quiet outside. If it was a normal day, we wouldn't have heard anything. But because everyone was like turning around and thinking, "Oh God, what's happened here? What's happened here?" and it was proper muzzled. The whole thing was muzzled because the doors were, the rooms were quite good in terms of leaking sound. But that bit, for some reason, it was dead silent in that room. And when he shouted that, everyone heard that loud and clear. And then, oh my God, everyone like literally just looked at each other like, "Oh my God, did he just say that?" And that was one of the instances where we actually got in a lot of trouble. Some people thought it was me, and I don't know why. I would never do that to anyone. Like I was okay. I'll hold my hands up. I was a bit of a prankster when I was at that workplace, but it was harmless. It was really like we used to have wireless mice, so I would swap two people's mice over, and then watch the chaos unfold when one's like, "Oh, my mouse is not working. Oh, my mouse is doing some weird stuff by itself." That's all I would do, or I would, or what else would I do? I would hide someone's phone, like put it in their little drawer thing, like really harmless pranks like that. I would never do that to someone. Someone downstairs really took a disliking to this person and thought this would be a good joke. So, and this is where I respect the boys in the warehouse because not one person snitched. Not one person snitched at
team
all.
camaraderie, love it.
Everyone knew who did it, right? But not one person snitched. So what happened was HR came, gathered up all the warehouse team, brought me in and brought a colleague of mine. Now, the colleague of mine, he was a wild cat. He was a wild one. He could have done it, to be fair. I think he could have done it, but no one snitched. And then it was just really funny because we all had to get reminded by HR, look, you can't be doing this. You can't be putting tampons in your colleagues' lockers. Please refrain from doing that. And, please, if someone, it was one of the situations where you can't stop laughing because I'm just looking around. I was like, I've got nothing to do with this. I don't even know the guy, first of all. But the weird thing was he actually worked with my dad. It was so weird.
Wow. Okay.
It was the connection was so weird. So the week he started, he looked at me and he goes, "Have I met you before?" I said, "Me? No." I said, "Where'd you live?" He goes, "Feltham." Oh, Feltham. And I said, "Where?" And then he named the place where my dad works. And I said, "Oh, do you know my dad?" He goes, "What's your dad's name?" I told him my dad's name.
Yeah.
He goes, "That's where I've seen you. You look exactly like your dad." And I swear to God, I've heard that 100 times in my life. I do look like my dad. I put my hands up. He's just like an older, grayer version of me. But apparently he knew my dad. And then when I came home that night and I said, "Dad, do you know this guy?" And he goes, "Yeah, he's a prick. Stay away from him. He's just..." So I was like, "Oh my God,
Are you sure this
guy
doesn't fit on your unusual characters list?
Do you know what? I would put him on there, but my dad would never say that about anyone. So he just goes, "Stay away from him."
Wow.
He said he's a bit of a loose cannon. That one, like he's got a mouth like that. He gives it, but can't take it basically. So yeah, that was a good one, mate. That was a good one. So let's talk about our experiences with bosses now. So let's talk about our worst ever bosses. You've worked in a few places, so have I, so you must have some bosses that have just been the absolute worst.
I've got one boss. In fact, anybody that I mention this to that's in my circle of friends knows exactly who this is. He was just a not very nice person. Actually, it comes from the story that I was telling you about last time. He wound people up so much that the almost, I don't condone it, but the revenge stories were hilarious. I text my shortly after I left that place, I text my actual boss, who was a genuinely nice guy. Just said like, "Oh, how are things going?" And he sent me a picture of a pallet, and it had a massive sheet of cardboard sellotaped to the front of it that just said, "Here are your tits." Right. Somebody just drawn these on. Right. Let me just fit right. And I thought he got this from the internet. So I just started laughing, thinking he was just having a bad day. Right. He'd try to cheer me up. But no, so the story goes. This company was preparing the entire floor for some important guests that owned the business from, I don't know, whatever country they were from. The place had to be spotless. But obviously this, not my boss, but the guy above him, it obviously riled some people up who had just thought, right, that's it, I'm quitting, I've had enough. Ooh. So they got this pallet ready. And I should just say, the product that they were selling had the word titanium in it. Right? Okay. So... and for whatever reason, people used to, for short, instead of saying the titanium, whatever the hell this thing was, it was just like, tits, da da da, right? So I don't know why. So this person had decided they were quitting that night, got in the forklift, dropped this pallet into a completely visible place, ready for this CEO to see it.
Whoever walked in, right?
Yeah. First thing in the morning, here are your tits. Knowing full well that there was going to be an inspection that day. So everybody's scrambling around. So I text my actual boss saying, how are things going? Yep, this is exactly how
this is what's happened. Picture says 1,000 words.
If anybody's ever a boss out there, just don't rile up your staff. That's all I can say.
Do you know what it is? I always think about this, right? Because I was saying, like, I'm a big fan of The Office, right? So you are the American version and the UK version, to be fair. And if I was ever a boss, right, this is why I sympathise with Michael Scott a little bit, because I think I'd be very similar. Obviously, not as stupid, but I think I'd probably want to be like friends with everyone. I know that's probably detrimental, and all your usual, how to be a boss books will probably say the complete opposite. But I think I'd like to be quite empathetic and be kind of like a friend to everyone, that kind of thing. But then, some bosses are just pricks. Do you know what I mean? Some are just so bad. They don't care. They don't care if they hurt your feelings. They don't care about it. They only care about looking good to the people above them and having like a great reputation rather than the welfare of their staff.
Do you know, this is a thing that I've come to realize in life. Like when you're growing up, right? Everybody says, "Oh, be kind, be nice to people," all of this stuff. Yeah, and generally, socially, yes, you should be in everyday life. But when you get into business, they don't tell you this in school. You have to be a right arsehole most of the time.
That's
true. You don't have to be, but you look at the people that have made it to the top in most businesses. Yes, they're exactly that. They're ruthless. Right. They don't care. They protect themselves. The whole thing is designed to protect the business, their bank. So, of course, the people that are ruthless are at the top. So they
tried and tested.
Yeah, I think they need a course in school where it's just like, right, 99% of the time, just be cool to people. As soon as you get into business, though, that's it. The gloves are off, start flailing.
How to be a boss 101. First rule, be a cunt,
Walk in the office, keys in your hand, start flailing. You'll make it to the top in no time.
Ignore everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Always think you're right. Yeah.
That's it, yeah. So don't care about their feelings. Put them down at every given opportunity.
Every decision you make is always somebody else's fault. So just,
That's right. That's right. Anything goes wrong, it's not your fault. It's that person's fault. Sack them. No. It's like the. Do you watch The Apprentice? It's a bit it's a great show, to be fair. It's gone a bit downhill over the last couple of years, but it's a great show because obviously you got Lord Sugar and he's setting up all these tasks and all that kind of stuff. And then, you kind of think like, yeah, he's a bit of a ruthless bastard, isn't he? But then I think as the years have gone on, he's got a bit softer. I feel he's got a bit softer. That's probably because he's getting older and older, but he probably isn't able to do the things he was able to do because of today's era, which is a bit more PC. He's got to be a bit more softer. He's got to consider everyone's feelings, because if he carried on the way he used to be, he would be cancelled as well, to be honest with you.
See, I don't understand that though, right? It's usually the older you get, you just don't care. Like, I think of my grandparents, and they say stuff to me sometimes. Shh, you can't say that. We're in a public space.
Yeah, you can't say that.
And they're partially deaf as well, so they're not just talking, they're like shout talking at you. And
amplifying it.
And you just you can't get us arrested. So how does that work, right?
It's true,
is it just like you're an arse until, like, if you're a boss, you're an arse until you get older, and then you just chill out a bit? It works.
Become a bit softer.
Absolutely. The other way. But no, I must know. I watched one episode. Maybe I caught it at the wrong time. I watched one episode of The Apprentice, and these are supposed to be the creme de la creme, right? And it was
that's the thing.
Bunch of British guys trying to sell cheese to the French. Just like, what are you doing?
That's the worst. That's not good. That's never going to work.
My days. And I was just like, what is this? Reality keeps switching off. I hear it's good though, but that just put me right off.
It's the last couple of years have been a bit weird. So you just like you said, these are meant to be the cream of the crop, right? They're meant to be the best the country has to offer. The young, intelligent apprentices that are meant to be business savvy and they're meant to go far. But then, honestly, Si, some of these candidates, you think, did the BBC even have a word with these guys? They're so stupid and delusional sometimes. It's ridiculous. Some of the tasks that happen on there. And with what these people do, I don't know how they got on. They show all like the IQ of an apple. Do you know what I mean? They're so thick, but it's entertaining. I think that's what it is. Like, they're not really looking for the business acumen and all that. They're looking for someone who's presentable, someone who can, do a little bit of business, sell themselves, sell their products. It's not about being the best candidate.
But don't
anymore.
they still get like $100,000 salary? I don't know if that's changed, but that used to be
no.
the thing.
Yeah, so no, Lord Sugar actually becomes your business partner in your business. So I think he invests, I think it's 250k into your business,
right?
And you also get a job with him as well. So, yeah, normally the winner has to pitch their business idea, and just before the final, it normally gets ripped to shreds by his right hand men and women, honestly. And then it's just so funny because you think to yourself, right, you're meant to be the best. How come your business plan is rubbish? Like, honestly, how are you going to make money? And last year, two people cried. Two people actually cried during that stage. So yeah, it gets pretty harsh. I think people even start complaining to Ofcom, saying, "Oh no, it's too much. You can't be putting these people under that much pressure." But yeah, it's just it is good. It is good. It's good entertainment. It's good entertainment on BBC One. It comes on once a year, so it's not too bad, to be fair.
The thing is, when you see these shows, and I like all of these reality TV things, like the first series, season, episode, whatever it is unexpected. So the people that go on there, you're like, I kind of don't feel sorry for them, but I kind of do, because they have no idea what to expect. From season 2 onwards, if you can't go into these things and not know what's happening. It's all these people that are breaking down in tears and being ripped to pieces. You're just like, but they know it. They must know it's coming.
No, yeah? Exactly so, that. Like, you prepare for it, right? That's right. That's why I don't understand that. You know what it is? I don't understand like exactly that side. Like, they know what to expect. They know that so many people are falling down at that business plan stage. So why the hell can't you just go get it done professionally or like get it done properly? So when people ask you these questions, you don't break down on national TV and make yourself look like an idiot. Do you know what I mean? It's a good question. I don't know. Maybe they say you can't have any inside help and you got to do it in in a controlled environment and you got to do everything by yourself. I don't know, but surely if that's not the case, then they should be getting it right.
Yeah, but that see, this is, and I'm so far removed from these reality TV things, but the same thing applies to. Like these baking shows, cakes, whatever it happens to be. And you're like, forget the celebrity stuff. That's different. They're doing it for a bit of a laugh, raise a bit of money for charity. If they burn the place down, that's exactly what everybody wants to see, right?
That's right. That's right, yeah.
When people go on to like MasterChef or I don't know, whatever it is, these cake
Great
baking
British
things, yeah, whatever it is, you're like, you knew what happened last season. You could run like every week, you could do some preparation. So you don't know what your task is going to be, but there are certain core elements that you can definitely practice before you do this stuff. And they walk on there, it's like, yeah, I've never used an oven before. It's just like, what have you been doing? Oh yeah, this is the first time I've got the roller out of the cupboard.
That's right.
Well, how did you get on this show?
What is this ingredient? I've never seen this before. Mate, that's flour. That's flour.
Someone puts on the blender and it just explodes in their face. It's just like, come on now. You just, I reckon they get like, so you got 10 contestants. They make sure 6 of them are solid, and then they just get 4 randoms to.
Mate, do you know what? As much as we joke about it, that is true. I reckon that is so true. Because obviously, if all 10 are brilliant, then it's not much of a show. Because it will just be a little bit of mystique about who's the best one. The entertainment factor is not there. The entertainment factor is on the loose cannons. You know, the ones that are the wild cards, the ones you just chuck in there just to cause some chaos.
Show of loose cannons. It's on table number 1. You got a guy that's made like a 5-tier gorgeous thing, and then Fred's getting electrocuted by the plug in the corner. What? How have these guys got on the same show?
Oh, that would be brilliant, though. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god, that'd be so good. I don't know, mate. Most of these realities, you know what? That's a good topic for another show. I think reality TV shows. I'd love to get your opinion on a few of them. My missus makes me watch some. What we do watch them is, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, but we'll say that for another episode. We'll get the listeners' appetites wet first. Just coming back to Worst Boss. I remember one of my previous workplaces, right? I had a guy. So he was a director. He was a customer service director, and I just want everyone to just shut their eyes for 1 second. Just picture Ned Flanders. Okay, you got him from The Simpsons. Just picture him. Now, just give him grey hair, And that's what this guy looked like. And we called him Ned because he was just like Ned Flanders. He literally did not want anyone to have fun. He wanted to just be 110% work. And he was just so boring, honestly. The only exciting thing that was in his life is that I think he had a motorcycle, and that's it. That's the only thing that was exciting in his life. It just felt like his dinner would be water and bread. He was that boring. Do you know what I mean? Any sign that anyone was having fun, he wanted to stop it right there and then. And it was an absolute pain to work for him, honestly. The good thing about me, I wasn't directly under him. He was a customer service director and I was part of the operations team, but he was sit like 10 feet away from me, so he could hear everything I'm doing. And you see me in the office, I'm all like, I like to have fun. I like to laugh and joke, get our work done as well. But oh my God, he was a proper spoil sport, one of the worst type. And the thing that absolutely killed him was when they would have their bosses meeting, he would always complain about us lot making too much noise, and like they're talking too much, they're laughing too much. But the problem was that every single time he brought it up was that he couldn't complain too much because we used to get our work done and get it done really well. We were one of the highest performing departments in the whole company. So no matter how much he tried, no matter how much, he attempted to break us down and, limit us to how much we could talk and laugh, he just couldn't do it. And that killed him inside. You could see the rage in his eyes. Like, he's like, these guys are having too much fun. I need to stop this. But he could never do it. But he was like, honestly, one of the most boring people you could ever meet. He just never wanted any fun. And the stupid thing is, like, he would get his own team to kind of calm down a little bit. And even though they were quiet, they were one of the worst performing departments in the whole company. So it just goes to show. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I'm pretty sure one lady that worked there started drinking because of him. So it's that bad.
What we got today? Coffee, boss. Definitely a coffee.
Yeah, coffee. Yeah, I'm just
Three
popping out
shots
for
of
lunch.
vodka.
Just popping out for lunch. She'll come back like fully wasted and like smelling of wine.
You remind me. He wasn't this guy was genuinely one of the best people I've ever worked with, but man alive, he was an alcoholic. So he worked in sales. He'd come over in the morning, ask you a question, perfectly reasonable, no problem. You catch him as soon as he's after lunch, just no hope. Slurring his words, bumbling around the office, just like it was. Yeah, exactly. Everybody knew it. It's like he used to drive. I don't know how he used to do it. He used to drive to work and get a taxi home every night. So presumably he must have come back at some point to get his car or get his wife. Yeah, I don't know how it worked.
Oh my God.
But
he's living the lavish lifestyle.
It's definitely something.
9 to 12. Yeah. That was his job, 9 to 12.
I don't know how he remembered anything.
Oh, that's a good point. Man. Do you know what? We probably can't speak until we're in that position, but yeah, I can imagine how fun it might be, to be honest with you. I remember one of my
every lunchtime.
Yeah, every lunchtime.
I just like, don't worry, guys, I got this. Just smashing buttons and open. You press the right amount. Yeah, I've sent some emails out today. What? You're not even at your right desk.
Yeah, that's not a computer. That's a printer. Oh, what are you doing? Yeah. No, I think So I was one of my companies I was working for. So I think if anyone listens to this, they'll probably know who it was. Now, I never had the pleasure of meeting him, right? Because he left. I'll say in apostrophes. He left the company before I started. So he was the actual boss. He started the company. So wild guy, absolutely wild. Like the culture in the company was quite chill. So, you could do whatever you like. You can wear whatever you like, not a problem. It wasn't very corporate, but it was a company that was growing rapidly. I asked my colleague who's been there since the beginning of the company. I said to him, "Do you know you're the boss? Like, why is he not in the office?" He goes, "Oh no, he's left now. He's actually sold the company." I'm like, "Okay, cool. What was he like?" He goes, "Oh mate, how long have you got?" Long story, but just to cut it short, right? The reason why he left, and it's really funny. So I think he wasn't about to sell the company. He was actually planning to stay there for a long time. So what happened was, he was on LinkedIn and he had his phone, and he was known for being quite boisterous. He was known for going out on lavish holidays, in Dubai or, in America on cruise cruise liners, on yachts and stuff like that. So he was living the life because obviously the company was doing very well, so he had the money to spend it. At one point though, on LinkedIn, something happened to his phone, and he ended up having to sell the company, purely because of what happened. So he must have been out on a boat. Lovely ladies around him, you know the type, the ones that like to party. And
I don't know the type, but I'll take.
No, neither do I. Neither do I. I'm just assuming you did. I'm not sure, mate. So you got these model type girls on a yacht, right? They're all dancing away, all having a good time. Obviously, you're drinking, you're having drugs. That's a given, right? On those kind of parties. Now, he got pictured snorting cocaine off a naked girl's bottom, right? And what happened was that picture then got posted to LinkedIn on his official account. So you could imagine the distress that must have caused everyone. He wasn't answering his phone. People trying to contact him say, "Where are you? Like, pick up your phone. Look, go on your LinkedIn. Check what's like. Delete the picture." He didn't care. He didn't look at his phone until 2 days later, right? So while he was out there, the phone probably died, and then he had a great night party and whatever. Went to the hotel the next morning, charged his phone. And lo and behold, there's like thousands of messages, thousands of phone calls saying, "What have you done? Oh my God, make sure you delete this." In the end, because of the embarrassment, he had to sell the company to a bigger company. That was the only reason why. And I was just thinking, wow, it took one picture to destroy your whole future. I mean, he done really well. He done really well out of the deal, but he wasn't planning on leaving it anytime soon. So,
But the thing, right? So let's just rewind that a little bit. So you're looking at LinkedIn. Right, I haven't used your LinkedIn for years, but you scroll down a bit. You got like your schooling. I got a master's in this, degree in that, this business, earned this much money.
10 tips to be a good boss. Do you know what I mean?
Naked girl's butt with some cocaine on it. Next promotion.
Some marketing material there.
You know what I mean? But I like this. I like the fact that so it must have been a clear picture of him. There was no like somebody.
HD crystal. There was absolutely no chance he was considered. This is photoshopped, or that's too grainy. That's not me. I'm sorry. I posted this picture as an example of what a boss shouldn't be doing. That's not me. Do you know, there's no chance. It was him, crystal clear. Had the flash on, his face, his beard, like. He's doing the madness. Oh, man. But I just remember when you know what? I thought my mate was lying because I thought surely that's not true. And it was. He showed me the picture. He had a screenshot of the picture.
Of course he did.
I think it had about in the end about 250 likes. Like 100 comments. But yeah, no, if he got rid of it within a little while, he would have been okay. But because he didn't care, left his phone for a little while, boom, that's it, finished. And I think he sold the company in about 2-3 weeks after that. He couldn't stay on. No one could take him seriously. But the thing is, no, sorry, I was just going to say, the thing was, everyone knew he'd done it, right? Everyone knew he was a party boy. Everyone knew what kind of person he was. But because there was picture and evidence, that changed everyone's perception. It was just unlucky, mate.
Well, what I was going to say was, do you think that would work the other way, though? So what I mean is this. Bloke sniffing cocaine off another woman's butt, right?
Yeah.
Fine. Lewd. Let's imagine for a minute he was a female boss.
Yeah.
She was sniffing cocaine off of a hairy bloke's butt. Now, do you think she would be selling the company?
There's no way. No, there's no way.
Or do you think there'd be like all the ladies analysing hang on, what's going on here?
Say, oi, Tanya got some?
Exactly. All the blokes would just be like, wow, what's going on with this one? You just never see it, do you? No, it must happen. It can't just be rich blokes that are into cocaine and this whole thing, right?
That's a great
You never
point.
see it the other way, but it definitely must happen.
Oh my God! Off a hairy bum, you know.
It doesn't have to be. I'm just saying, you know.
The cocaine's just between the hair
generalisation, I would say that on average, blokes don't shave their butts.
That's a scientific fact. Oh wow! I'm just imagining it now. It's terrible. That's funny. That's a good point though. I don't know. I don't know what would happen, to be honest with you. I can't even imagine it. Oh my days!
I don't know anyone to test the theory, but all I'm saying is, that,
Hey, listen, if anyone of our listeners wants to try it and let us know what happened,
No, that's not what we're recommending.
do it for the pod. Just let us know what happened.
Oh, mate,
that's
we're going to
fantastic.
make it past. We're definitely going to try and make it past the second podcast.
We're gonna get an email
You're going to
next
have
week.
this on your CV, aren't you? You're
Oh,
gonna have,
no.
yeah, I went to school, got a degree in this, got a master's in this, recommended people sniff cocaine off of hairy butts. I haven't worked for the last 2 years.
Influencer. I'm a hairy cocaine influencer.
So,
Oh,
Jay, mate, I see you've got a gap in your employment.
Oh yeah, I was actually influencing people to do cocaine off hairy bottoms.
No, that's a
my
niche
gosh.
market of all the of all the influencers out there. Makeup,
That's it.
sports gear.
Yep, that's it.
I think you've opened a new market there.
You know what? There is a gap. I'd love if we get an email next week saying, "Hi JT and Si, I took your advice."
Hey, don't
and-
rate me into this.
Hey, listen, we're together now. Everything I say, you're fully endorsing.
I'm trying to get stuff, not kicked off.
We're gonna get cancelled. This is terrible. Oh, brilliant. Oh, moving. Okay, I'll tell you what, Si. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah,
which
please.
Is funny decisions other people have made that you've seen.
Oh dear.
That's fantastic.
Okay. All right. Oh, hang on. Give me a minute.
This is the content people want. This is it. Unfiltered, pure filth.
I don't know what other people want, but it's making me laugh. Oh, anyways, moving on. Oh, so funny decisions other people. I've seen other people make. All right. Oh, right. So
It's just like when you see something, right? Someone's done something, you just think to yourself, "What the hell did you do that for?" Or "Why did you do that?"
I've got a corker for this one.
Go on.
Right. So back to this factory.
This factory had it all, man. I'm telling you.
I'm not making this up, right? I swear. I've told these stories to all of my friends, and they're just like, yeah, "What have you been sniffing?"
Was it a glue factory?
It wasn't hairy butts either. But okay, back to this factory. Okay, so there were people working on the lines. Okay, just preparing this product. And the building was split into departments. Okay, walked into one department. This just was on one day, so walked into one department and just started speaking to this bloke. Yeah, sort of elderly gentleman, very friendly, no problem, all good. Walked outside, and there was this lady with a life-size tattoo of his face on her back. So she's wearing, I don't know what the tops, the sort of half top things. I don't know what crop tops or something. I don't know what they're called anyway. But you could see sort of from her sort of shoulder blade up. Thing, yeah. So there was a pretty much life-size tattoo of this bloke on her face. I didn't think anything. I thought, oh, maybe they're together. Fine. Strange thing to do. I'm not sure I want to get my missus tattooed on my back, but you know, people do this. Kids, dogs, pets, whatever.
Fair enough.
Okay. Turns out it was brother and sister.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. That's
okay. So going on to your question, the first thing I have is, okay, why did you get a life-size tattoo of your brother on your back?
Your back, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get to that reason? Of all the things you could have got, tribalism, as I say, your dog, writing, doesn't matter.
Your kids sometimes, you can get your kids or a loved one. Yeah.
Right. So maybe you're close to your brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I found
that's the only reason I can think of. Yeah.
But the thing, and I don't know why I even thought of this, but the thing that crossed my mind, at some point, this woman would have had a partner.
Yeah.
Maybe a bloke, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they would have tried doggy style. This bloke would have been looking at her back with her brother's.
That's right. No, exactly. And the worst thing is, it's face to face.
His face on her back.
Can you imagine how? Oh my! What can you imagine how distracting that must be? What's wrong, babe?
Let's
I'm
stay
just a little bit distracted today.
No, let's stay face to face. You're right back there. No, I'm out. So,
do you want to turn around? Do you want to flip? No, I'm enjoying this. No, I think it'd be better if you turn around for a little while. Oh my god, that is Oh, that is baffling. Do you know what? In one way, I can, like, you know, if right, it's a bit sad, but if someone loses a loved one, right, I can understand.
I get that,
right?
yeah.
But if a brother's there working with,
But there's a lot of reasons to get pictures of people on your body. Your
Yeah.
nan, your granddad, your parents, your
an
kid,
idol, someone
whatever,
that's
your idol.
inspirational.
I understand
I
understand all of that, right?
My brother,
But your brother,
yeah,
who is working in the next door,
in the factory next door.
no, the room next door.
Oh my word! I don't get it, mate. I don't get it. All right, that's a perfect example.
Maybe he was a guy that just kept. I just say at home, just like, why would you? Maybe he's just a bloke that always got lost. Have you seen this fella? What does he look like? This. He's got him on his back. Yeah, this here.
Yeah, just in case he got lost. Have you got a picture of him? No need.
Yeah, I got two grand's worth of tattoo on my back. That's what he looks like.
Oh my god! The only thing I can think of, was it a dare? It might be I don't know. It's not logical, is it? Yeah. I'm guessing you know. I'm guessing you never asked.
Think of that, but what a dare, eh?
Oh yeah.
If you lose this challenge, you're getting a picture of me on your back. All right, I'll take you up on that. Crud.
Tails. Just play heads or tails. Oh my word! No, that is baffling. That's baffling to say the least. But yeah, people make questionable decisions all the time. To be fair. Oh my god! Brilliant.
But that takes some thought and effort, right? So tattoos, right? I don't have one myself, but
neither do I. Yeah. Yeah.
People are right. Yeah. The pain wasn't nothing, or I felt it, but it took so this thing must have taken a good few hours. Yeah,
exactly that. And there was no regret.
Would have been painful, I would imagine, because it's across your sort of shoulder blade and stuff. I'm told that's painful. I don't know. But anyway, this was a commitment. This wasn't a walk-in 10-minute job just to write pie on your arm or something. Or what.
That's right. That's right.
This is proper commitment. And the cost of the thing.
Oh my god! Yeah, it's probably multiple sittings as well. So there was no point in between for each. You might pull yourself. Nah, maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe I should leave it. Nah, she's in. She's 100% in, committed.
You get the chin down. I can cover the chin. That's all right. We're going to stop at the chin.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if that would have been worse. You're just walking around with a random chin on her back.
I mean.
What have you got a chin on the back? Well, it was that or my whole brother's
funny
face.
story. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my god! You know what? It's just like if they ever fell out, what alternatives does she have? She has tattoo removal, or turn him into a ninja. Do you know what I mean?
Someone to tattoo a beard on it and say it was an ex-lover.
So a tattoo of a brother with a beard. He still looks like a brother though. Like your ex-lover looks a bit like a brother, you know. Oh, that's shocking. That is. So
I misspoke there because it threw me.
That's fantastic. You know what? I'm trying to think of anything that I can think of, but honestly, that one tops it. That's just and I'm guessing do you know what it is? I don't think you ever had the chance to ask her, right? And that's one of life's mysteries now. You're probably not in contact with this person.
I'm never going to know, and I didn't have the stones to ask her.
That's
either.
Right. That's right.
There are icebreakers, and then there are icebreakers. Most of it's like, "Hi, how are you? What's going on?
Yeah.
Why is your brother tattooed on your back?"
Yeah, just a question. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that is that. It defies logic, isn't it? That's what happens.
I don't know. It's like I just don't know how they arrived at this decision. Now it was obviously something genuine. I don't know.
That's right. Well, do you reckon she was duped into it? So obviously she couldn't see what was happening, and she picked what she picked. But her brother said, "No, put my face on there." She wanted a cute little dog, and he's given the tattoo artist his picture. Just put it that. Don't worry, mate.
So she wanted Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
The bloke just slipped the tattoo artist another grand. Yeah, to do this, come for me. She just
do this one instead.
She just hasn't noticed for like 4 years.
And people are like, "Oh, that's a nice picture." I know Johnny Depp. Yeah, Johnny Depp's brilliant, isn't he? I love him. I love Johnny Depp. That's why I got him on my back.
Since that Amber Heard trial, he's gone down here.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. Tattoos are fun. I'll tell you what. In terms of tattoos, I've got someone I know, right? She got a tattoo, and it's meant to be a love heart, but it's not meant to be a traditional love heart. So it's like one of these artistic versions, very very simple, just 2 lines. Now the problem is, as sweet as that is, the area she got it in on her body basically shows that if you have it at one angle, it's a love heart, right? But if you have it at any other angle, it looks like a ball sack. Now, so I've always thought like. It's like 70% of the time you're going to have it at the angle where it looks like a ball sack, and then like 30% of the time you're going to have it at an angle where it looks like a heart. And I know this person, and I think she regrets it now. I think she wishes she got a different tattoo. But like after like the second day, one of her mates said to her, "You know, it's a bit funny. Your tattoo looks a bit like a ball sack." And ever since then, she's hated it. She was meant to love it, little sweet little tattoo. You know, being a bit of a rebel, but nah, it's backfired on her completely. Backfired completely.
I had it was nowhere near like that, but there was a lady that worked at another business, and you know, when people go abroad, they get like, she had like this Japanese thing on her back, and nobody knows what it means. They could do anything, and right,
yeah, could mean sushi, could mean
right,
life. Yeah.
So this is the thing. We used to have this intern that would come over because it was a sort of Japanese-owned company. So we used to have an intern that you'd come over, do a couple of years, go, you know, fine, whatever. You learn the language, learn the business, take it back with them, fine. I got chatting to this Japanese guy. This girl, and I've said the lady walked past. Goes, why she got paint tattooed on her back? I was just like, pardon? He goes, yeah, that simple means paint.
Oh no!
And I'm sure it was probably supposed to be love or something like that. I don't know.
Paint.
Paint.
Oh my god!
But he said it's so deadpan, as if it was like, you know, just why has she got paint on her? Like first I thought, what, actual paint? What do you mean? She said, no, the tattoo, it means paint.
Oh yeah, because obviously why she got paint on the back, you would have thought it's literally why she got paint, but it translates to paint. Yeah. Oh, that is terrible, man. Dulux, sponsored by Dulux. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
it just goes to show that what, like, before you get something that's super permanent, you want to make sure it's legit, right? You want to make, especially in another language that's foreign to you, right? You want to make. I would check it 3 times just to make sure I'm getting love instead of paint on my back. You know?
Well, you've got the internet now, haven't you? So you could just, if you don't know anybody of the culture or the language that you want to get tattooed on you, you know, just post it out there. If half of the comments come back of this means nutsack or something, then you just that's what
it's not right. Absolutely,
something else.
Yeah. But that's that's the worrying thing as well. Like, you could go on with the good intentions of putting it online and getting that, but you got so many trolls that could do you over as well. Do you know what I mean? It's not safe. You need to go to someone that's a Japanese librarian or something to trust them and see. Excuse me, can you just tell me what this says?
Yeah.
That says Magnolia. But, you know what I mean? Oh no. Speaking of Japanese, I know it's not the same, but it reminds me of a story when I think I've told this story quite a few times to my mates, and they still couldn't believe what happened. So, a few years back, I applied for a role for to be a pharmaceutical buyer. So it was a Japanese company. So, and I worked with and I got the job. So I worked with quite a few Japanese people. Now, these guys, I applied for this job in like the beginning of October, and they got back to me in the second week of November. So 6 weeks had passed. So I thought I didn't get the job, right? So when I finally went there for my first day, I said, just out of curiosity, you know, why did it take you so long to get back to me? They said, oh, do you know what it is? And this, I'm speaking to the manager, my manager. He goes, I bloody told my directors. I said, look, just hire this guy. He's brilliant. You're not going to get anyone better. And the directors were saying, no, let's interview a few more people. They interviewed 11 more people before they came back to me. So in that 6 weeks period, they interviewed 11 people before they came back. And I was like, look what's happened though. So the circumstances of when I joined were a bit mad. So I was meant to have 6 weeks of a handover with this lady who was going on maternity leave. So my role was a dual role. It was a key account manager and a pharmaceutical buyer. So all the biggest clients I'd be their first point of contact when it comes to supplying the medicine, right? Yeah. So we had very big clients, like some of the US, some of the UK, very very well known places. Anyway, this lady, I had 2 days with her. So the first day induction, get my password, my computer, all that sorted out. Second day, introductions, so meeting people, going around the office. So, and at this point, she's like, I think she's about 8 months, maybe 7, 8 months pregnant. Third day comes, she hasn't turned up, right? And I'm panicking because I've got nothing. I know nothing. I've literally just started the job. My password is just about working. My laptop's just about
where
working.
the toilets are.
Absolutely, exactly that. And I've met everyone, as in I've just gone to the factory where they produce the medicine, and the small office upstairs. I've talked to everyone, not a problem. It's just one big room, by the way. It's no dividers, literally one massive table, and everyone's sitting from one end to the other, and everyone's sitting around, and that's how they worked. Japanese culture is weird, by the way. It's like in the workplace, not in general, but like just in the workplace, they love to work in complete silence, like honestly, complete silence, and that drove me crazy. I couldn't speak to anyone. I even got like a little telling off from my manager at the time saying, I was trying to put my headphones into my ear, and he goes, no, don't do that. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, your headphones, put them away. I'm like, why? No one's talking. I could listen to music, do my job. He goes, oh no, man, but I don't think they'll like it. I was like, oh God, you little goody two shoes. All right, fine. I'll put my headphones away. So yeah, working in complete silence. So I'm there at 9. It's about 11 o'clock now. She hasn't turned up, right? And now I'm getting worried. I'm thinking, is she ill? Is she sick? I asked my manager. She called in. He said, no, it's getting a bit concerning. They get a phone call about 11:30, right? She's had her baby. Like she went into labor very early, like 6 or 7 weeks early, and she's had a baby. So now we're panicking. I've had absolutely no training. My manager's had no training, and the people that could have done their job and helped me have left the company, right? So I'm basically the first point of call for all our biggest clients. I have no idea what I'm doing. I could do things on the purchasing side, but I can't do anything in terms of the key account management. So now we're panicking. I've got a computer. We're going through emails. I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm meant to do. I have no idea. And we struggled for a few hours. We absolutely struggled. And now I'm thinking, God, what have I got myself into? This is going to be absolute madness. First of all, I have to work in silence. Second of all, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know what to do. I don't even know the systems, nothing. And I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs. Anyway, 3-4 hours go by. I come back and I've got a key to her desk. So I'm like, brilliant. Okay, maybe I could find something in here. Top drawer, nothing. Little things like, she had like hand creams and pens and that stuff. I was like, no good to me. Open up the second drawer, Post-it notes, things like that. Third drawer, the biggest one, I open it up. A magazine in there, but right at the bottom, a ring binder. A book, sorry, it's a book, right? And it says notes. And I thought, thank the Lord. I grabbed that book so fast. I run over to my manager and I say, oh, look, bro, I found this. I've checked the first page. Like, honestly, she's written everything down. It's fantastic. He goes, excellent. All right, let's go back to the desk and let's try and figure out how you can do your job. I'm like, cool. Run to my desk, sit down, open the first page, and she's written like a little bit of a contents page, which is great. It's got like, the system, it's got like clients and information about them. Perfect. Yeah. Open up a few more pages. They're blank. I'm like, oh God, I'm pretty sure it was full. It was a book that was full, but I think she left a few pages at the beginning. Get a little bit into the book, fucking all written in Korean. Everything was written in Korean. And I was just like, the worst thing is there was no Korean person in the office. It was a Japanese company. She was the only Korean person. So like a dickhead, I ran around asking Japanese people, look, can you read Korean? They're like,
they all turn around and slapped you for insulting them.
Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, oh man, like this can't get any worse. So yeah, that was the worst. That was one of the worst like things at work, man. Honestly, I was not prepared for it. And the notes thing just killed me that day, man. I was so demoralized. And in the end, what I had to do was I had to literally write to every single big client and embarrass the company a little bit by saying, hi, look, I'm really sorry, but the previous person, she's having a baby, she's had a baby prematurely. I've come in, I have no idea how you guys want things to be done. Could you please just let me know how you want things to be done, and I'll make sure I'll be able to do it. And to be fair, quite a few of the clients actually were very understanding, and they said, yeah, no problem, we'll walk you through it. But it did look a bit amateurish, because the lady was telling me on the first day that I met, I told these guys to hire you 5 weeks ago so we could have had like 4 weeks of training at least before I go on maternity leave. But she ended up having a baby like 6 weeks early, so that's not her fault. Oh, mate, but can you just imagine that moment when I grab the notepad and I see it says notes, I run like a little kid to my manager saying, oh, look what I've got, like the Holy Grail, look, I've got it here. Look. And then we ran back and it's all in Korean, man. Oh, heartbreaking stuff.
you know, the thing is that I love those sort of things where, like, I think it's most companies, to be honest with you, put on a front, yeah, we're definitely professional. Everything's on fire behind them. It's all fine. Don't you
This
worry.
is fine.
Your
This is
stock's
fine.
going to be there. The boat sank. The warehouse is on fire. Half the crews quit.
It's nothing.
I was going to say, the thing is with your story is you open it up and it's just there's notes, and you try and translate it. It's like 2 eggs, flour. Hang on a minute.
This isn't working. Yeah, exactly. God knows what the notes were for. Actually, honestly, that's just. It was just a surreal moment. I'm thinking to myself, "Oh God, I've caught a break here. I've actually left a decent company to be here, and now I'm in this shithole. Like, fuck, like this is ridiculous. I didn't stay there long, to be honest. I didn't at all. The work culture there was crazy. You start work at 9, but they expect you to be in about 8. Like, no, I'm going to come in at 9 because that's my contracted hours. I was meant to finish at 5:30, but every day I'd end up finishing about 6:30ish, and I was just like, wow, like this is not the way to work. Because no wonder you've got such a high turnover. They didn't tell me before I started that they had a high turnover, but I could see why. It's just half an hour break as well. Like, and you got clock in and clock out on your lunch breaks. So like they were proper on it.
The thing is, I would say with most people is if you are doing a thing that you really enjoy doing, you could work 10 to 12 hours a day on that thing and it would be no problem.
The passion
really
drives you on.
wouldn't. Like, if you can find a hobby that you just love doing and you can convert that into a job, if you were doing sort of 10, 12 hours a day, people will look at that and go, oh, that's a lot of hours. That's 50, 60 hours a week. But you love it. You love it. When you're working in a job for the money or whatever it is, you've only got so much capacity you could give to it before you are just like, nah, you
burn out.
It works in reverse, so most people want to go in, they want to go do a good job, they want to get all the stuff done, but it's not their passion, it's not the thing that they've really wanted to get into. So you're pushing people to do like 10 hours and stuff. I'm pretty sure that people just drag that 8-hour day into 10 hours. So you might as well just get them to do the 8 hours or 7 hours.
Do you know what? That's a great point. Do you know what? I would do the same. Like if my job hours were that long, I would just like literally stretch out my existing duties to fill out those 10 hours rather than actually do all the work I could do in 10 hours. Do you know what I mean? So it's a weird one. And the thing is that it didn't work. They shut down now. So I just found out like 2 years ago they shut down. So
unless your hours were directly impacting your salary. So, for example, I'm thinking of I know a couple of delivery guys, and they get paid per delivery. So
yes,
they will work the 10 hours, and they will just cram in as many deliveries because they're not just doing a job for 10 hours. For everything that they do, they're getting specifically paid for it. See, that is an incentive, not just sit there for 10 hours.
This wasn't
trying to decode a Korean.
It was a bit weird. Honestly, it was really weird because it would be like, I'll be sitting there, right? My time's come to go, and I'm looking to my left, and my manager's sitting there. Now he's not making a move. Now it felt like a little bit weird for me to just get up and just start packing and log off and say, right, I'm off. It just felt like I think people will be looking at me a bit weird if I just work the hours I'm supposed to work and go home. It was awkward, but after like 2 weeks, I didn't give a fuck, man. I just said, look, I'm gonna clock off and go home. I'm not getting paid any extra just to sit around and just work for nothing. Do you know what I mean? So, and yeah, like I said, I didn't get any overtime. It wasn't like if I worked 2 hours extra a day, I wasn't getting any overtime. It wasn't like that at all. So yeah, at the end of the day, I just thought, I'm leaving. I stayed there for 4 months and then I left. So, yeah, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, well, sometimes a step backwards is a step forwards.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I'm grateful for the experience because it made me appreciate how good a employer should be rather than what they are. So my next employment after that were literally phenomenal. They were chalk and cheese. Honestly, I found that because they looked after their employees looked after them. So. Because of all the benefits and care they gave their employees and they gave so many incentives, we worked harder than we had to for them. And that was across the whole company. Like when I was employed there, everyone in that company knew that this company does so much for us. So we're going to give tenfold back. We're literally going to give everything this company deserves. So in terms of working, and then it didn't feel like a job. It was so good. Like everyone had their jobs on lock. Everyone knew exactly what they had to do. We came together as a team and we hit our targets every single month. So, and that is the difference. That is the absolute difference between a company that pushes its employees so hard, like mentally, physically, whereas one company that looks after their employees, they look after the company back.
Listen, don't try and claw this podcast back. You were trying to sell Harry Butt Cocaine earlier. You're trying to sell yourself to the next employer.
I know, I got a bit serious
yeah,
there.
Yeah. Companies, they're all great. They're all great. Yeah, don't worry about what I said earlier. It's all fine. We'll edit it out. It's all the other guy. I see what you're doing there.
Get a bit sentimental.
Everyone was sitting there just going, what's going on here then? I thought, what's going on? Oh, yeah, he's just trying to tap up his next boss.
That's it. That's exactly it. Oh, no, it's just, you know what it is? It's just the difference between a good employee and a good employer and a bad employer is so evident nowadays, man. Honestly, I've had just like your factory job. It seems like shit just went down every day. Something new happened. Oh,
it was
God.
Honestly the most stressful job I have ever worked at, to the point, I won't get too serious here, but it was the most stressful job. And I think that's why I am the way I am now. I think it's damaged me a little bit. So I just find everything funny now.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what.
Just the stuff that goes on in our place at the minute, and just everybody's getting stressed out about it. And there's me sniggering in the corner saying, you think this is a problem? I can rattle off 15 examples of where this is not the worst thing that could happen.
No, exactly. Someone's making a big deal out of nothing. I'll tell you what, that reminds me of a point, right? Have you ever, not to put you in the spot, right, but have you ever at work laughed at something that you're not meant to laugh at? Because I've been in a situation where it got so bad and I could not stop laughing. For the first time in my life, mate, I could not physically stop myself from laughing. It was so bad. And I like to think I'm a controlled guy, right? I know I can control my emotions, but so a little bit of context. So in one of my jobs, I was working, we were a team basically, right? So me and my supervisor are very close. And we had one of our other guys that was our friend as well. He was quite close. Problem is, he started going out with a new girlfriend about a few months earlier. And he'd have mood swings. And we'd think that, and it was new, it's completely new, right? So he was always a laughy, jokey kind of guy. But ever since he got this new girlfriend, he was, some days he'd be a little bit depressed. Not, I would say depressed, down, not his usual self. And me and my supervisor would be like, yeah, he's just probably had a row with the missus. So probably one of those things. And then one day he came in, barely mumbled hello to everyone, sat down and just started working, head down, earphones in, didn't want to know. He just wanted to do his job. So I looked towards my supervisor and we're like, yeah, he's having girl trouble. And he's like, yeah, he's having girl trouble, no doubt. Someone decided to put the radio on in the background. And do you know that song, What Is Love? Baby, Don't Hurt Me.
Yeah.
Don't Hurt Me No More. That came on. And I still remember this to this day. It always makes me smile. I looked to my supervisor. He looked at me. As soon as we locked eyes, we cracked up, like literally cracked up so bad to the point where the whole quiet was unusually the whole office was unusually quiet.
It's been a night of it.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, the whole office was unusually quiet that day, and all they could hear is just me with my wheezy laugh, and he's got even wheezier laugh than I have, and we're literally just wheezing away, and it came to the point where we couldn't look at each other. We're only sitting like 3-4 feet away from each other. But if I caught him looking at me and he caught me looking at him, we'd full on laugh. And it came to the point where I said, look, I need to calm myself down. I need to leave this office. And he said, I got to go as well. So he went next door to Tesco to calm down. Right. And I went to the toilet. I was laughing so much. I was in tears. I literally went to the toilet, looked at myself in the mirror. I said, Jay, you need to calm the fuck down. Stop laughing. I'm giving myself a pep talk in the mirror. Like, calm down. Like, you know what I mean? Just bloody hell. Like, keep it together, man. Like, what people might be thinking you're crazy. After 2 minutes, I said, okay, I've got control. I'm going back upstairs. I'll sit down on my desk.
Well, people might think you're crazy standing in the toilet, heavily wheezing.
Talking to myself. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what I mean? I was making sure no one was in the toilet, but yeah, I was just like literally giving myself a pep talk. Like I was like, this has never happened to me. It feels like I've had like, do you know, hippie crap that everyone's like, the balloons and stuff. I felt like I was having that, and I was just like, damn, I literally can't control myself. It was the reason why we made it so funny was because you're not meant to laugh in that situation, and the fact that it made us laugh so much we couldn't stop. Anyway, long story short, I came back to my desk. I'm fine. Everyone's looking at me. I'm like, you know what? Sorry, guys. It was just like an inside joke between me and my supervisor. I've sat down. My supervisor walks in 5 minutes later. We're both breathing. We're not looking at each other because we know that if we look at each other, it's going to go down again. So for 5-10 minutes go by, I literally from the corner of my eye just started looking at him, and he's already looking at me, and bang, we're off again. We couldn't stop laughing for another 10 minutes. It came to a point where me and him had to go into a separate meeting room and go calm down. But it was just that moment was so funny. I genuinely have never been in a situation where I couldn't stop myself from laughing, and that was one of the moments in my life. I still remember this to this day. I'll speak to him about it sometimes, and he just starts laughing as well. It's just one of those weirdest, funniest experiences I've ever had, and it was to the expense of someone being a bit down because they had a row with their missus. That's the worst bit about it, to be honest with you. Oh man. Okay, guys, and that is a wrap for episode 1 of the JTS 51 podcast with myself, Jay, and my co-host, Sai. Just wanted to say thank you so much for listening to it. Please give us feedback, all good, all bad, but we'll prefer it if it's good. Leave the bad out. So, but yeah,
we won't read the bad.
We won't read the bad, but yeah, honestly, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time. This is a bit of a dream for me and Sai, and we're finally realising it. So yeah, like I said, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Take care all. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you for listening to the JTS 51 podcast. For more epic content, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future episodes.